Hello friend, in this presentation I'm going to talk about behavior driven development. What is that? Well, this is a framework that Selenium is going to make use of, and that is called Cucumber. This particular framework is implementing BDD, that is called business driven development. What is that? Is a way for a software team to work that closes the gap between the business people and the technical people. And that's where the initial problem started, because when we used to work on TDD, that is a test driven development, this is totally based on the coding. So over here, when you are going to work or when you're going to interact with your client, they used to have a problem because maybe they are not so good in technicality. So for that reason, Selenium started working, and that brings us to that is called Cucumber. With the help of Cucumber, a framework that makes use of the Gherkin syntax, and this is a special syntax which with the help of which you can come up with the behavior driven application. And Gherkin syntax makes use of this special keyword like given, when, and then. We will see that how this is going to work indirectly in my program. And what this particular video is all about is, in my web page, that is swaroopapp.in slash Django-list, what I need to do is that I want to create one test application which would automatically open this particular page. And then what it should do, well, after opening the page, it should go for execution of as you can see over here, the first thing what it should do is it should open this particular page. That is first point. Second important thing is that it should fill the data directly over here, one after the other. And the third thing is that it must click the submit button, and then we will understand that the entire process got over. With that, it will generate a test report, and that is what very important, because that test report will make the business owners understand what exactly and how exactly your application is working. So let's come back to our Eclipse, and here what I have done is I'm making use of the Maven project, because Maven will give me the following dependencies. As you can see over here, Selenium is there, and I have also installed, as we're supposed to work on Cucumber. So let's come down over here. You can see the Cucumber is also there, plus Gherkin language is there. So test ng is also very important for performing test, and over here the Gherkin is there. So these, and JUnit is also very important. JUnit is over here somewhere. So many dependencies I've added, so it's very difficult to figure out, but nonetheless, yeah, over here JUnit is also there. So these are the dependencies that you need to add in order to implement with the Selenium and Cucumber functionalities. Now let's come to the execution part. Whenever you're working on BDD, you have to come up with three different files. One is called feature, the second one is called the step driven, and the third one is called runner. So these three files has to be there, then only it's going to work. And after the execution, it should generate a test report inside the target folder. Let me refresh the page once to see whether there is any file getting created. No, over here there is no such file. So by default, first you need to run this is the startup file. You need to run this particular file, and once you run this, then eventually it will come to your feature file, and over here it will read the feature, and subsequently it will call the respective functions that are written in the pure Java. With the help of Java, you have to write this, and the respective functionality will perform. So how exactly it would call? So over here, if you see, I mentioned the name of the file, feature file, which it should call. Along with that, with the help of the glue attribute, you have to mention the package where your test driven file is there, so it will come directly into this folder. Plus I have also added the Cucumber report, so that it will generate a very beautiful, good looking report. You will see that also get created. So inside the register.feature, there are the first thing is the scenario. Well, the scenario is telling that you need to save the record inside a particular page, and for that reason, at first given, you must open this particular URL, and this is a page that is hosted live in my domain, and then you should dump the following record in the respective text box. First name should have Swaroop, last name Shah, and the age should be 75, and then you should click the submit button. And once you have done this, if everything goes well, that means when you are executing this particular feature, it must give a call to this particular function called login page. Similarly, when you're performing the submit option, I mean submitting the data in the respective text box, then this particular function would get called. And lastly, when you're clicking on submit button, at that point of time this particular function would get called. So these functions are actually going to write all the business logic that would perform this BDD application. Okay, so now we will run the application, and for that reason we'll go with the test runners. This is the startup file, this is the file which you should actually run, and for that reason you can use either JUnit test or test ng, whichever you feel like. I have gone for JUnit test, and this operation will happen very fast, so please observe it minutely, that first the page will get open, and then it will control will go to that particular URL, and then it will dump the data in the respective text box, and then it will click the submit button. So let's see the thing in action. I click on the test case, and now the browser would get open, and here the browser comes up, and see over here it directly went to the particular page. The data got filled up automatically. It happens so fast, and then click on submit button. Eventually you are seeing the record got filled up. So this record is already been filled up with the help of with the help of this particular test case which I have written over here. Now once you complete the test case, you will be able to see the status. It is green in color. It shows the JUnit is saying that your test case run successfully and there is no error. This is one important thing that JUnit will show. And then you will come to your project, and if you refresh the page, you will find a new file, that is the test report got generated. So now what we will do is that we will open this particular test case and see what test report it has got. So let's come to the folder, and let's right click over here, open with is Safari, and let me click on Safari, and that will open the test case. And look over here, the test case has been shown such a beautiful color. Is in the dark shade color. This you can even customize this thing, and I have done the customizing. That's the reason you are seeing this over here. See the name of the, like I executed, so I wrote my name over here. What particular test case you are writing, that you can write over here. Now what are the features that got implemented? If you click over here, this was the name of scenario that I have mentioned over here. As I click, these are 3 features. See this, it should go open this particular URL, then it should dump the following data, and then it should click the save button. So these 3 features has to be executed. And let's come over here, the status. In the status you will see that whether everything works successfully or not. So there were one feature file, and this feature was working for a particular scenario, and not only that, and it's saying pass, see everything went successfully, and there were 3 steps that it had to perform. All the 3 steps was passed successfully. So even it's showing that over here you can see that whether the action has been successfully completed or not, that what is saying. See, one feature pass, one scenario pass, and 3 step pass successfully. So that means your execution of the BDD using Cucumber was been successfully done, and this particular test report is what your client is going to see. And of course, once your client see this test cases, they will understand that yes, everything went very successful. So that's how we are supposed to design our business logics, so that the BDD implementation through the help of Cucumber and through the help of Gherkin syntax can actually be implemented. So this was my first video in context to BDD. In my upcoming days, I will come up with more such videos where I will be showing that how with the help of Gherkin language you can implement further more complex concepts nicely. Okay, so that's all from this video presentation. Thank you very much.